I'm Amy.
And I'm Whitney, and this is Midlife.
But you're anything but mid.
I can't not say something.
You have to have the last word.
I do. I think I do.
Is that it?
I just want to affirm what we said.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. You go. Anything but mid. Anyway.
Well, have you got a mid moment?
I have an anything but mid moment.
Oh, do tell.
Because I went to No Doubt at the Sphere.
That's right.
One night only, in and out. We got in at like 11 a.m. on Saturday, and we were back in Austin at 7 p.m. the next night.
I honestly think that's perfect in Vegas.
Yeah, it was great. We got in.
2 nights is like max, really. One night is fantastic. You still feel good about Vegas.
Yeah,
You only stay one night.
I did not lose any money, which was also awesome. I played craps for the first time and was
fun.
on a roll,
Oh my
which apparently
goodness.
doesn't happen very often.
So did you win?
Yeah, I won. We all took out money, the same amount of money, and I'm the only one that left with more money than I came with, just about $300. So I lost some and then won some more and then lost some and then won
As
some more.
we do.
But I left with about $300 more
Where'd you stay?
than I had before. The Venetian, because that's where the Sphere is. And it was super fun. It was, I know you have your doubts about Gwen Stefani.
No, not doubts.
She's annoying you right now.
No, she's not annoying me.
What?
I'm just a little over her.
Because you're annoyed. You're annoyed. You're tired of seeing her.
I just felt like she was so uplifting to women.
She is
And
still.
now, not as much.
You're saying that because of the Catholic thing?
A little bit.
You're
yeah, a little
hilarious.
bit. Well, and her hair. I don't know.
Her hair, it looks the same.
No, now she looks like Carrie Underwood. Nothing wrong with Carrie Underwood.
You're okay.
She looks like the country music.
She was playing the role for her country album, and she had her hair flowy and sang about purple irises. But that's okay. She can,
That's not the Gwen I want. And then I realized that my favorite Gwen song was actually written by Linda Perry. I did not, and completely produced by Linda, and I fucking love Linda. And I was oh my God, I'm actually a massive Linda fan, which I knew.
Right.
But now I thought Gwen wrote that song. And
Which song was it? Hella Good?
No, it's What You Waiting For.
Yeah, What You Waiting For. It's so funny. It's weird. We must be on the same wavelength.
I retweeted that. Or
Okay, so maybe
whatever.
that's how I saw it. I'm like,
You
why
might have
am I
seen it,
thinking
'cause
about this? Yeah.
It was an interview with Linda Perry?
Yes. And then I saw another one where she was talking about the songs that she wrote for Pink.
Oh my God. See?
She's incredible.
She's the powerhouse behind all this.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera, too.
Yeah, I know. But also, Gwen has written her own songs as well. It's okay to collaborate with people. But all of her songs from the Tragic Kingdom, she wrote herself. It was all about her breakup with Tony Kanal.
Okay, we like that.
Anyway,
we do like that.
She killed it. She
did.
looked like the Gwen that you love.
She did.
Super
Okay,
punk.
Good.
The way she was running around that stage and dancing was so fun. And then I'm looking in the audience, and it's all these young people.
Really?
That know their songs and were into it. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It was very cool.
Wow.
And I loved it. And it wasn't something that I wanted to go to the Sphere, but I wouldn't have necessarily chosen No Doubt because I wasn't like a massive fan of theirs. But some friends invited us to go, so we went, and I'm so glad I did. She's I still believe she's very empowering for women.
Okay, good.
And I loved the whole set. I loved her costumes. She's so cool. Like, I was just like,
Yeah,
so
I love
cool.
her. I've
Her
loved
style.
her so much for so many years.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just waned a bit, but
That's okay.
okay.
That's
It's
okay.
all right. Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna love her. Sometimes you're gonna hate her. Sometimes people are gonna love you. Sometimes they're not.
Damn right.
We don't.
Yes.
We don't jump on that roller coaster. We stay feet planted, and we don't care. Like, whatever.
That's right.
And that's what she's doing. Anyway, it was super fun, and I felt really cool. And I had my, cool Gwen Stefani outfit on, as did everyone else.
I'm sure.
Which kind of was like, oh, am I like at a Comic-Con?
Yeah, cosplaying.
Cosplaying,
Gwen. Yeah. What'd you think
But
of
it
the
was fun.
Sphere?
Very cool. That was a mid moment that I had, though, because I tried to stand up to dance, and I was like, oh, no, I can't do it. I got to sit down.
There, it's like...
Super
yeah,
steep,
you're like on
a
a mountain.
lot of visual, But some of those young ones were up dancing, and I was like, well, I can do that. And then I was like, nope, no, I cannot.
I'm going to fall.
Yeah, I felt dizzy. It's
Wow.
like you're on, and of course they're from Anaheim, so they played off the whole Disneyland thing and Magic Kingdom, Tragic Kingdom, which I hadn't really ever put together.
I never thought of that.
I never thought of it either until I went to their show, and then I'm like, oh, the visuals were, really cool, animated, a lot of animated. I did feel like I was on a ride. Like the seats will vibrate and like things fell from the sky and
cool.
It was almost overwhelming.
Yeah. It is.
And then you're also trying to zoom in on the stage because there's a performance happening. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot, but super fun. And I felt like I just was energized.
Cool.
And she's older than me, which makes me feel even better because I'm like, look at what she's doing.
That's right.
So I'm fine.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do all those things too.
That's right. Well, how old is she? 55?
She's 56, 57, something like that. Yeah,
Damn.
A little bit older, and looked great. Great shape. You know, I don't think her skin has ever seen the sun.
Yeah,
it's so light, which is also good because then you don't age. Anyway, and she pulls her hair super tight, which I think is like an instant facelift.
It is. Yeah. It is. Like, look at all the women that wear the half up ponytail. Like,
yeah. So it was fun. What about you? Any moments?
No, but I did learn. Well, yes, probably. But I did learn about cortisol face recently. Have you ever heard of that?
No. Do I have it?
No, I don't think so. But I think I have in the past. And I just stumbled upon something that was called talking about cortisol face.
Yeah.
And how your stress level, if it's sustained, it can reflect in your face, making it like they call it a moon face, like rounder and almost like like if you were taking
steroids.
Steroids.
So my friend had cancer and she was taking steroids and she had the moon face.
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm,
because your body's producing so much cortisol, it just creates
I guess so. It makes inflammation and your face gets inflamed. Wow. I'm not sure all the details on it, but I hadn't heard of it before. And I was like, that is so interesting. Like that it really shows on your face. And I can look back at pictures of myself and I can see it. And I know too what I was doing at those times that I wasn't taking care of myself.
Right.
Like perhaps I knew I was eating more chips than I should, which is inflammation city. I love me some chips, but I can tell in my face that it's like a result of me being stressed, not taking proper care of myself. So I don't know that it's the chips or it's the stress, but I can see it. And
no, I agree. You can definitely, it's so funny. After my husband died, the next summer, so he died in October, the kids go to camp in the summertime, like right in June at some point, anyway, for a month. And so, you know, we've been dealing with the grief for a while before they go to camp. They go to camp and they're gone for a month. I go to pick up my kids and they're in middle school. And my son looks at me and I'm like, what? And he goes, you just look old. And I was like, ow. First of all, thanks, you know. And I was like, well, you know, I've been dealing with a lot, you know. But I thought it was interesting that he left for a little bit. And then when he saw me again, he was like, wow, you've really aged. I'm like, well, dead husband will do that to you, kid.
And a dead husband and 3 kids.
Yeah,
okay.
true.
Like,
yeah, and mother living with me. But yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was so funny and ouch at the same time. But yeah, we know that takes a toll on your face and your skin and
it really does. The stress does. Did your face get wider? Do you look back on those pictures and see anything in your face?
No, I mean, I grind my teeth, and I think that I started grinding after he died. I never had to deal with anything.
You didn't wear a night guard?
I didn't wear a night guard or anything like that.
And you wear one now?
Yes.
Me too.
And, you know, it does build this muscle here, and so it starts to create, I kind of think of it as like a Jennifer Aniston jawline. You know, it's square.
Oh.
And so that's definitely different.
I got that. I mean, I've grinded for my whole life.
Yeah. No, I didn't start until after he died. I know. Well, and I keep thinking maybe I'll go see, I mean, I've seen an energy healer a lot since he died, but I was thinking maybe I should go, because obviously there's energy in there. That's why we're grinding. There's our bodies are trying to take care of some sort of energy. that we've got going on. So I was like, maybe I need to go and specifically deal with this jaw thing. And where's that energy and how can I move it through and get it out?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I'm always like rubbing mine. Like
I know, me
but
too.
we're talking about it. I'm like,
I know, same. And I think I told you this. My dentist said, are you getting Botox there? And I said, I have in the past, but it didn't really make that big of a difference. And she was like, you need to go to an oral surgeon. They can put in more Botox than what just going to your esthetician can do. And I was like, okay, but I didn't.
Will that affect your talking at all? Or?
I don't know.
Wow.
You would think that it would impact everything. Like it would be, you're freezing a muscle. I was like, am I going to just start sleeping with my mouth open?
Yeah. You
do? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't gone to see him.
Okay. Well, I'm interested.
I'd probably do the energy healer before I go to the oral surgeon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So
we're jumping in today.
We're jumping in. It's time for another episode in our limited series, the Max Life Protocol, real science behind a real life. Because we do talk a lot about the physical side of anything but mid, but there's a deeper situation going on that we need to be handling. And we're using the framework from Arthur Brooks. He's a Harvard professor and author whose entire message has been about how to live a life of meaning and purpose and the pursuit of happiness, which we all want. We're built to want those things.
Right.
So I'm excited. Just a recap, if you didn't listen to part 1 or 2, they're in our podcast library, so go check them out. In part 1, we talked about the curves, the first curve and the second curve. When we're younger, we're on that first curve, trying to be the soldier. We're fast, we're excited, we're like a sponge for information. And now it's time to jump into the second curve where we use our experience, we're wise, we're no longer the soldier, we want to be the general, and it's a promotion. Don't think that you're being demoted when you go to the second curve. We're actually being promoted.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
And then in part 2, we mapped out the happiness portfolio. If you want happiness in your life, you have to diversify. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. And we talked about the 4 different pillars of that portfolio. Today, we're going to hone in on one of the pillars in particular, the friends pillar.
Okay.
Because you may have heard this before, longevity and your community are very tied together. Mm-hmm. And they talk about those blue zones, and they thought it was what they were eating and the atmosphere, but they also have this huge community. They have multi-generational families living together. Mm-hmm. They commune together, like even the Norwegians or the Swedens or whatever, when we were talking about the saunas. They're doing all of those things together, and that is more important. Some research says it's more important than diet and health, like working out and stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to dive in and see how we can get a deeper, meaningful relationship with our people. And so we're talking about quality control here, because you can fake the friendship pillar with, your work friends or your acquaintances, but that's not what we're doing here. Yeah. We're trying to get into quality relationships.
Okay.
Do you feel like you have those?
I do, but I think I have a tendency to get a little bit too isolated sometimes.
Yeah.
And however, though, I also am really excited about my kids getting older and having that with my kids.
Yes.
So I like that, but I know they're going to go off on their own lives, So I think looking ahead is going to be interesting to see how that kind of shakes out. I'm very inspired by my husband, who talks about when he did live in Congo with the Pygmy people and lived a year there in their community, which was pretty small. But it's really interesting to hear him talk about how that was the happiest time of his life. I mean, he was connected to nature. He was connected to his purpose.
He was filling all of his pillars.
He was filling
because he had community, he had work, he had faith, he had friends.
Yeah, so that's very inspiring, and I'm excited to learn more about that.
Yeah, it's harder.
And just from the people that we serve, too. So anyway, I can do better definitely. I do have certain friends that are very good about reaching out to me, one in particular. And so I'm trying to get better. The other day I was driving and listening to something and I was like, nope, I'm calling someone. And I just like want to like build that as a habit to just keep reaching out to people, because I think that that's like something that sometimes I'll get away from.
Definitely. And I'm going to talk about that. You've hit on something that's extremely important. I did want to share this Harvard study. I think this is very interesting.
Love me a Harvard study.
I know you do. And it's always a Harvard study when you're talking with Arthur Brooks, because he's a Harvard professor too.
Oh, okay.
But
sounds legit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
This study, of course, tracked men, hundreds of men from youth to old age. And when researchers looked back at the data to see who became healthy, vigorous 80-year-olds versus, poor...
Vigorous
versus the ones who had dementia and, weren't as vigorous, your relationship satisfaction at age 50 is a better predictor of your physical health at age 80 than your cholesterol levels.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy? The data shows that satisfying, secure marriages and deep friendships are associated with living an average of 5 to 12 years longer for women and 7 to 17 years longer for men compared to those who are isolated.
Yeah.
You also get cognitive protection, like I said a second ago, dementia. Individuals with strong social networks and regular social activity showed a longer onset and significantly slower rate of cognitive decline and dementia in old age compared to those who lacked close confidants. That makes sense. You see it a lot when what? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because then your friends are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You've got to exercise your brain more.
Right. Well, it makes so much sense to me when you see, like, especially our parents, if one parent dies, the other one seems to go down so much quicker.
Yes.
People who live alone when they don't have anyone to talk with.
Yeah.
That's why they'll get a pet, because at least they have some sort of socialization there.
When I am isolated, I talk to my dog and, I make her talk.
Yeah.
So we have full conversation.
Oh, you make her talk. In what
talk,
way?
She talk.
Well, you talk for her.
She talks kind of like this. This is her voice. She's like, what are you doing, Mom? I want to eat right now. That's her voice.
That's
she has
hilarious.
A deep voice with a lisp.
With a little lisp?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
She does. So we make her talk all the time. So she and I have full conversations, and that's probably not that healthy.
No, I think, look, it's survival. I think that's a way. A way for you to keep surviving. Because think about it. If you live alone and you never use your voice, all day long you're by yourself, so you don't speak.
Right.
And think about this too. I'm kind of going off, but
that's okay.
Hugging. Like, I think about the people who never get a hug. Like, they live alone. Yeah. You're not hugging people at the grocery store. I mean, sometimes I am, but I'll hug my plumber sometimes or like awkward things. My landscaper hugs me, and I don't actually really like it that much, but I imagine that maybe he's lonely. I just saw him yesterday, and I try to keep my distance, but he comes in, and yesterday he came in hard, and he just went for a full frontal hug. And he likes to kiss me on the cheek. But anyway, I imagine, I'm like, I'm not unsafe. He's like this tiny little Mexican man. And maybe he's lonely and he doesn't have anyone. And physical touch is something that we all need.
We do.
And, you can hug yourself, but it's just not the same. I can't remember the timing of it, but I feel like there's something like a 30-second hug like steps up your endorphins and really has some good health benefits. I'll have to check.
It does. No, there's a formula to it, and I've posted about it before. But it's something like you need this many hugs a day just for maintenance. Yeah, and then for
did we
growth,
hug today? We didn't hug today.
We didn't.
We have to start hugging.
Okay. I like hugging. I love
but
hugging.
I think it's important. And I think about my mom, she's living by herself, but and I'm going to talk about my mom during this whole episode because I think she's a great example.
I forgot her name.
Her name is Anne. In the family, she's called Mumsy because once you have grandkids, it's like you no longer have a name. You're just Mumsy or Grandma or whatever. But she's a great example of how she has created a community through her family. She doesn't really have friends. She doesn't really want friends. But she is important to multi-generations in our family.
She doesn't want friends. Does that put pressure on you?
No, it used to. I used to feel bad. And she does have a friend group, but they're in Houston, and she's fine with only seeing them every other month or something. She'll go to Houston.
Still pretty good.
But she doesn't need friends here in Austin because she is so busy with all of us. And she's made herself indispensable, honestly. She watches my dog when I go out of town. She watches kids when need be. She was homeschooling one of her grandsons. Her one grandson just had another baby. He's got 3 little kids, 6 and under. She's over there every day. She's doing their laundry. Like,
wow.
She's busy.
Busy.
And everyone feels like they need her.
Yeah.
And I really feel like everybody feels like she's their best friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the episode. Yes, I do. And while I was doing the research on this, I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know, my close friends, who's my best friend? It's my mom. Aww. And she's 79. So when she leaves this earth and transitions to whatever's next, I'm going to lose my mom and my best friend.
Shit.
I know. I heard Nicole Kidman say this. We're getting a little off, but I heard Nicole Kidman say after her mom died, she's like, it's the one person that knows everything.
I know.
Like, and not everyone has the relationship that I have with my own mother. I know that. But my mom knows everything about me. She knows every storyline, every history, even the things that I don't share with anyone else. She knows. And so when that is gone, it is going to be such a hard day for me.
Yeah.
Year, months. Did you feel that when your mom passed away?
Yeah, but we didn't get to have all that adult relationship, which is too bad. She died when I was 32.
Yeah.
31, 32. And it just it makes me sad.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, yeah, you're lucky to have it.
Yeah, so lucky. And it just makes me appreciate it all the more when I, you know, do research like this, or, you know, I know my relationship with my mom is very special. Yeah. Anyway, and her cognitive abilities are incredible because she's got those 4 pillars.
Maybe she'll live to 100.
Yeah, she doesn't want to. Years. She doesn't want to.
Oh, it sounds exhausting.
Yeah,
when Justin's like, I want to live to 100, so you have to be 115. I'm like, I am gonna be so fucking tired. That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, but for you, honey, I thought this was interesting. There's something called the 15 cigarette rule. Chronic loneliness and social isolation increase the risk of premature death as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's how much we have to have deep, meaningful connections with people.
Yeah.
So you want to invest the time in real friendships. And how do you know what a real friendship is? A lot of people think utility friends are real friendships.
What does that mean?
They're the deal friends. They're the transactional friends.
Like what?
That you do business together. You work in the same office. You need something from one another. But if you had a crisis, you're not going to call that person. They might not even know anything about your real personal life. It's very surface level, right? And you're friends because you work together.
See them all the time,
yes,
or whatever.
Or your kids go to the same school. But if that went away, so would the friendship.
Gotcha.
So they're useful, but they have an expiration date, basically.
Yeah.
Those are not the kind of friends that we're talking about.
No.
Pleasure friends is another kind of friendship. They're based on admiration, a shared hobby, but it's still superficial. Your golf crew, your fantasy football league, your drinking buddies, they're fun.
I don't have any of those.
But they, right.
I
Well, what would be
yours?
your crystal group?
Well, what about us? I mean,
we're different because, we're mixing a couple together because we have a work relationship.
We met through work.
But we have some underlying foundational similarities.
Yes, we do.
There are things that are important to both of us, so we feed off of that and we talk to each other. So our relationship is already more meaningful and deep because of the things that we talk about at work.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just crossing it all off, and we're pleasure friends.
Well, if this went away, we would still be friends. Like, we were
Yeah.
friends before we did this. So,
Yes,
you know, there's
exactly.
that. Even though we met from work and worked together.
Yes.
And then,
And I will say, and this is something that everybody needs, I think as you get older, you recognize this more. Your real friends, we call it the virtue friends. These are not transformational connections. They're people who love you for you.
You mean transactional?
Yeah. No, transformational. This is the last group. What'd I say?
Oh.
Virtue friends. Your real friends.
These
what are you talking about?
Transformational. They are transformational. I see it right there.
Yeah, what'd I say?
You are not. You said they're not transformational.
Oh. Mid-moment.
And I was like, wait, what?
I wasn't even listening to myself.
They're not transactional, but they are transformational.
Right.
Okay.
Let's take a moment. We're now talking about your real friends.
Yes.
The friends that are going to help you live longer. The friends that matter.
Okay.
Okay. The virtue friends. These are transformational connections.
That's my husband. I mean, he's my best friend.
Well, and I'm going to talk about the spouse in a second.
Yeah.
These are the people that love you for you. They don't want anything from you. They're happy for your achievements. There's no jealousy, right? They share your core values, which is what I think we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we do.
They know your flaws, and they're completely useless to your career. Like you don't need anything from them. They don't need anything from you.
I'm not expecting him to advance my career.
Right. But they're absolutely essential to your soul.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I specifically asked about spouses because I was like, do spouses count as this real friend?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also your family. And the short answer is yes, they absolutely do, but they cannot be the only friend.
Right.
And I remember reading once, you ask a woman, who's your best friend? And she's going to name one of her friends. Mm-hmm. You ask the man, and it's his wife.
Really?
Most of the time.
That's not that surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't have, I don't know, but I think Justin is different. He's got a lot of feminine energy. Like, in the sense of connecting.
He has connecting energy.
Yeah.
In fact,
he's very masculine, don't get me wrong.
It's so off the charts that when we first got together, I had to explain to him that he had this connecting ability because literally people don't connect that well with others. And then they'd connect with him and they thought it was unique. And it was to them, but it's not to him. And I was like, you have to be careful because
everyone
they
think
you're best friends now.
Yeah.
And then when you don't answer their text messages because you have a zillion, they're confused. And I was like, you kind of have to be careful because... And that's not saying don't connect with them.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying.
He didn't quite grasp that, and he was like, "Oh my gosh," because like we went to an event and people like literally were like, "Oh my God, I've never connected with someone like I have with you," And
you're
I'm
my best
like,
friend,
right? And there was a girl there that was like, "We have a connection," and I was like there,
like,
and she was like, "We're meant to be together," or whatever, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know that bitch."
What?
Yeah,
she said that. And you're right there.
No, I had been there that day. And then she had a moment alone with Justin and she told him that. And I was like, that's because she thinks you guys are connected. Yeah. Whereas to you, it's just another day.
Yeah, exactly. He can go deep fast.
He can go deep fast, yeah.
Yeah, and most people don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and men, what I was going to say, and Justin doesn't do this, but like, when Hunter would go out with a friend, or even with my boyfriend Ryan, when they go out with their friends... Like, Hunter would come home and I'd be like, oh, so tell me, how's Todd's wife? Like, what's going on with the kids? And he's like, oh, we didn't talk about that.
Really?
Oh, well, you were with him for 4 hours. What'd you talk about? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I go, well, what's going on at work? Is he going to move? Is he going to do this? He's like, oh, we didn't really... They're talking sports and superficial things, whereas when women get together, we go deep.
Yeah,
we try to make that
I have
connection.
A friend the other day. Justin was like, and we went to an event. We went to lunch together, and he was like, he just immediately thinks that she doesn't go deep because he just doesn't know her that way. And I'm like, she and I have been friends for over 20 years. I'm not gonna. Invest in that friendship if we don't go deep. Right. Like, of course we do.
He was probably confused because he usually can easily get in with people. like, and get
I
deep.
bet you're right.
And she's like, nah, I'm going to
maybe, yeah. Or maybe he just hasn't tried and he's written her off in a way or something like that. Like, I know he likes her, but he just thought she was surface. And I was like, I'm not going to spend my time just surface.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? He assumed there was surface, whereas I think if I saw you with a friend, I would assume that it was deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I will say, I do enjoy a good surface friend too. Like, I get, I mean, I have like a couple.
I do too.
I have a couple of friends that's like, I want to go out and just have a fucking awesome fun time.
Yeah.
And just let it rip. And
no shit. You don't always have to.
There are a couple of friends where we're not going deep, but we will go get drinks. You know?
Well, that's a drinking buddy.
That is a drinking buddy.
That's changed for me since I quit drinking. And that part is interesting. But like my main friend / drinking buddy, she quit drinking.
Oh, so now
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. But you don't feel odd. Like, I know I have some friends in recovery and they don't feel, they're fine with going out with us and we're drinking and they're not. I don't know that I could do that.
I'm fine with it to a degree.
Until people get stupid.
Well, people start repeating themselves, and it just gets like not fun.
Yeah.
And so then you just have to know when to bow out.
Know when to fold them.
I don't go to a happy hour and stay out till 2 anymore.
Right. Well, isn't it funny that, and again, we're going off for a second, but isn't it funny that drinking actually will make you stay out longer when really it's a depressant and you should go home? Like, I would think I would want to go home and get in bed.
It's a different type of way that alcohol affects you. I would say listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast on alcohol because there's
I'm not going to because it's going to tell me to stop.
Well, it will, yes. But there's 2 different ways that it can affect people. One is it puts you to sleep. It is that depressant, but there's another way, and it makes you energized.
Yeah.
And when I listened to it, I was like, that's not only me, it's every one of my friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit.
Well, sure, because the one that goes home. Like, the one that gets tired goes home. I'm energized.
It was me and everybody.
Yeah.
And we're the ones that stay out till 3.
But I also think I'm energized because I'm connecting and there's music and you're having fun and you're dancing.
Fun, more fun. Fun,
Super
more fun, more fun.
Exactly. Anyway, so, as much as I want to have those deep relationships, I do also appreciate the ones where I can just not think and it's not heavy and you just go and do. But those are not the friends that are going to keep you alive longer. Those aren't the ones that are going to do it.
I kind of have both with my husband, actually. So that's really nice because we can just like veg out, watch TV, laugh, be stupid,
Yeah. Well, it says
I like that.
Research shows that marrying your best friend gives you a massive lifelong happiness boost.
I love that.
Your spouse is your ultimate virtue friend.
Can I sidebar?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to this friend and there was a channel on or whatever account on Facebook that I used to follow. It was like Empowered Embodied Woman or whatever it was.
Okay.
I can find it. But anyway, it was like what really helped me with dating when I needed it. And so I have a friend who also does it. And so she's really working on herself to find the right partner. And so
I think you told me about this a long time ago. There's like a Facebook group or something.
Yes. It was really good. And her name's like Giordana Tocandelli or something like that. Anyway, right. And so anyway, I'm sure if you search that, you can find it if you're interested. But anyway, I think that, unfortunately, that this account gets people and then just keeps them in the coaching loop because my friend signed up, but then now she was so far along. I told her, I was like, you don't need to coach with them anymore. You've got this.
Yeah.
You just need to embody those practices and make sure of that, because then they told her that, because she was like, I want to marry my best friend. And I was like, fuck yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And they told her that was her inner child talking and that was not what she wanted. And that was coming from a wound. And I was like, fucking, what the fuck are they talking about? Now they're just keeping you in a coaching loop and get the fuck out. Because I just thought, of course I was like so offended for her. I was like, of course you want to marry your best friend. Of course you want something that your best friend's with.
You have to, because the passion side of it, that the lustful side of it is going to go to sleep.
Well, I've never had a relationship more than 10 years,
right.
I guess.
But eventually,
my
what's
first
left...
marriage was, we were together total 11 maybe, and maybe my second marriage too, 10-ish. So anyway,
you're on like the shallower levels, but if that dissipates, and then whatever's left is what is going to be in your long-term marriage. And if there's nothing there, then it's going to fall apart. That's why spouses or marriages tend to break off once the kids are gone, because they've put all their focus on the kids and didn't cultivate their relationship. The kids leave and they're looking at strangers. They don't know each other.
Yeah.
Anyway. Call us for marital advice at 1-800-GIADONNA. Anyway, no, I think your spouse is definitely the anchor for your inner circle. But again, you have to have more than just one. One is great, but your spouse has, you need to branch out a little bit. But yeah, your spouse is great.
Okay.
The reality check.
Good to
because
know.
This is the thing that I hear, especially from my widow podcast people.
Okay.
It's hard to make adult friends. Like,
it is challenging.
And I'm sure it happens with divorce too. Like you lose your group when you are no longer with your spouse, or you move to a new place. I know when
somebody gets custody of those friends.
Yeah. Like, is it always you?
I have like one friend, and he managed to balance with both of us from my first marriage.
Oh, that's good.
It's actually my best friend's husband. And he was just like, I'm going to be friends with both of them. But it's rare.
That's very
really
hard
rare.
Because in my experience with my divorced friends, there's always one person that I felt like was not doing right by the person.
Right.
And so I tried to maintain a little bit of balance for a while with a couple of my friends. And then I just had to drop the guy.
Yeah.
Bye.
I mean, when it comes down to it, if he had to choose, it would be me, because I'm best friends with his wife, and like,
right,
he's gonna choose me.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're younger, and I'm seeing this right now. So my youngest sister married an Army guy, so they move every 3 years, right? 2 to 3 years,
right.
And they have these little girls. And my sister is great at meeting people and connecting. And I think when you're in the military, that's already a group, because you were a military
I was
brat.
not, but I grew up in a military town.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that mindset.
Right. People are used to transitioning and whatever. So I think they're a little bit more open. But I'm watching her little girls. And, in elementary school, you maybe by 4th, 5th grade, you might be a little bit wary of making friends. But in those early years, they're just going in. My little niece, she's 6 years old. She walks into her 1st grade class on the very first day, sits down next to this boy and goes, "Hi, I'm Presley. What's your name?" And he was like, "Hey, I'm so-and-so." And she goes, "Okay, well, we're friends now." And she had him over like later in the week to her house. It's like instantaneous.
So
It's not hard for them, because you're not in your head about, well, they're not going to like me. What are we going to have to talk about?
And you're just not like entrenched in these cliquey friend groups. So
right.
I grew up like without those cliquey friend groups, really. Everybody was more of a mixed bag. There were people like me that lived there the whole time, but everybody was always in and out with the military.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice. You got a new crop of guys. You would make new friends. I mean, like, one of my most longtime friends, she moved to Colleen when we were juniors.
And that's so hard in high school to make that move.
I know. And then she and I, like, she's a fucking rock star, but we're still in touch. We're still good friends. We walked together at graduation, and I was like, we just did it. Like that was just how things were done where I grew up.
Well, and I think, you have shared struggles. You have the same schedules. It's like forced proximity.
Yeah.
So like my main friend group, and I have a friend group here in Austin, which is awesome. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But my core group, when I think about my good friends that I could call, for anything, they're the women that I raised my children with. And we were carpooling, we were fighting with the teachers, we were crying about, Common Core math, we were going out as a group, we had functions, school functions, and so our lives were exactly the same. And we lived in the same neighborhood. And so you just bond easily, right? When I moved here, my kids were in middle school. Nobody's making play dates for their middle schoolers. They're on their own, Moms aren't calling me to go, "Hey, we really want to get the boys together today. What are y'all doing?"
Yeah.
So, and then my husband died. So it was a struggle for me to find my people because everyone's already got their groups, you know? And I mean, I've heard from a lot of people, and I even say this kind of myself, like, I have enough friends. I don't need to add any more to the group because I'm already too busy. Because I've got such a full calendar. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, so as we get older, they've got their set core group. Children aren't around to facilitate the friendship. And then you also have this blanket of self-doubt and, you know, judgment on yourself and negative self-talk that makes it hard too. So, you know, how are you going to find your friends if you need a little bit more deeper relationships? One of the things that you said a second ago, you have to make time. If there are people in your life that you would like to have a deeper friendship with, you have to make the time and put forth the effort. It's not a random text. If you're thinking about somebody, pick up the phone. And that's what you were saying you're doing when you're in the car, which is so great. I'm terrible at that.
Really?
I remember when texting first came out and my mom and my sister were like, we're going to start, you know, we're texting you. And I'm like, I'm not going to look at those texts. Call me. Call me on the phone. And now I'm like, don't call me. Why are you calling me? Just text me.
Just text me, please.
I don't know. I'm not as quick to pick up the phone anymore.
I know.
But you are?
No, I have to force myself.
Yeah.
And so I just try to do it every now and then. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
really
it's a great tip when you're in the car, instead of putting on that Audible book or listening to music.
Yeah.
Use that time to phone a friend.
Justin does it. Justin's so good about it because he hates texting.
Yeah.
So he does that. And he, like when he's in the car, he's on the phone with people connecting and all that. And I'm like, man.
It actually feeds you. I'm sure there's some science behind it.
Yeah.
You get a rush, a little bump, a little
dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Or something?
I was about to say Oxycontin.
A little oxy hit.
Anyway, oxytocin? What is it?
Oxytocin.
Okay, I was so close.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that they suggest here is the phone log audit. Look at the last 10 people you texted or called outside of your immediate family.
Yeah, that's sometimes when I'm like, who the hell are my friends? I have to pull up my phone, look at my text. I'm like, okay, yes, I have friends.
So and then you ask yourself, if my title, if my wealth, if my influence vanished tomorrow, how many of these people would still check on me? That's going to help you separate your deal friends from your real friends. And then you also need to ask yourself, who do I want as a real friend?
Yeah.
And start putting in some effort. You pick one friend that you've drifted from because you're too busy or you don't like to answer the phone, and you schedule a coffee or a drink or a meal, or you know, you call them on the phone and you have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Not a shallow one.
Yeah.
About the weather.
And I mean, like my friend Nak and I, we really have to, we were such best friends, and now we're both in meaningful relationships. And so we have to really make time for each other. And like the other day, I had an issue come up or something that was bothering me. And I was like, no one's going to know this like he will.
Yeah.
So I call him up and I'm like, hey, I have this issue. And he goes, oh, you called me because you knew I'd like to get this dead horse out and beat it some more. And I was like, I said, you qualified for a number of reasons.
Yes.
You go way back. And so anyway, it was just like, he was the one and he was there for it. He was like, let's do this.
It was as if no time had passed.
Yeah. And then I said something on that conversation. I got real fired up about something. And I said something about him being my designer friend or whatever. And that bothered me so much. I called him back and I was like, I have to apologize. I can't believe I said that. You're not my designer friend. You're my friend. Aww. I don't care what you do for a living. And it does not matter to me. Like, of course, I do think you're like the most talented creative genius on the planet. But I was like, but no, like.
Did he even catch it?
No.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, no, I didn't even notice that. But thanks, I guess, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I would never want him to think that. Like, he's like my easy go-to. And I was like, I don't know why I said that. And then I felt really bad. It like lingered. So I had to apologize. And he didn't care. Of course he didn't care because he's a real friend. He's
right.
Like
exactly.
A real one. Yeah.
Well, and
So anyway, though, we do have to really make time, like every now and then, every few months, I think he and I will just have lunch together and catch up and whatever. And I'm so glad that we make that time for each other but we have to like make it.
Well, it's almost like when they tell you in your marriage to schedule a date night or a sex night. Like, it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It actually is the opposite. You value it, so you make the time, even though it may seem weird. Like, why would I have to schedule sex? If I really love him, then I'll want to have sex with him. That's not necessarily true. You have to put work in to make things deeper and trade efficiency for intimacy. So you stop sending the low effort checking in texts or liking their social media posts. That's another way that I think people think they're connecting now, is just like through social media.
Oh, one of my friends was like, she talked about another friend. She was like, well, she'll call me and be like, you didn't like my post. And I'm like, girl, I would never even notice if you liked my post.
And that's a deal, friend, and deal off.
Isn't that like, I was like, that's literally, I appreciate you liking my post, but I would not notice if you didn't.
I think like that is something that I think about a lot as I'm getting older. Is this a friend that is stealing my joy, taking my energy, or building me up and giving me energy?
Yes.
And that's one thing that I'm starting to look at to go, okay, is this a friend that I really need anymore? Because they are fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of say, no, I don't.
Well, you just spend your time elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because it ultimately is an investment of time and energy. And so are you having that heart-to-heart connection, that real connection, or is it like this sort of weird, like, you're waiting to see if I liked it? You're keeping score, you know?
Right. And that's transactional.
It is.
Why you didn't, I'm calling you not to touch base with you, but to tell you that you didn't give me what I needed you to, you need to help me in this area. Deep relationships require the one thing high achievers hate giving up: unoptimized, unstructured time.
Can you say that again, please?
Deep relationships require the one thing high achievers hate to give up: unoptimized, unstructured time. High achievers typically want to be very efficient. Every moment is taken up. It's optimized. It's structured. And boom, boom, boom. With your friends, you want to trade that in. It's about intimacy, not efficiency. Did I say that?
That's really interesting, and especially because it's a paradox. So you are going to actually optimize your life more with unoptimized time with people.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is. It's very interesting. Another thing that they suggest, this idea suggests about creating meaningful relationships, is showing your own vulnerability. You can't build a virtue friendship while you're wearing your armor. You have to put it down, share something, a struggle, a fear, a mistake you made recently. It opens you up, and it makes the person you're with want to open up as well. That vulnerability is the currency that buys deep connection. And it can be so hard. I'm going to share this story that I'm still so embarrassed by. I'm getting red right now.
Great.
It's yours. It's with you.
Me?
Yes. I remember when we went to the med spa, and they had they had mentioned to me something like, oh, well, we can collaborate and, give you some free stuff and you can talk about us. And I like froze in the moment, and I didn't feel like I could do that. Like, I don't know. It's a whole thing, a whole mental thing for me. And so I just kind of froze with it and didn't do anything. And then the next day, Amy comes to me and she's like, oh, we should really try to collaborate with them. And, it would be a great, win-win, whatever. And I froze. And then I pretended like oh yeah, wow, I hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea. When it had already happened the day before, and I tanked on it, and it ate me up all day. And so at the end of the day, I felt so terrible. I call Amy. I start crying.
Yeah, you cried.
And then in my head, I'm like, why are you crying? Keep it together. You're such a dork. Like, this is making it worse. But you were so sweet and just like, whatever. It's totally fine.
I'm still confused by why you felt so bad about it.
Because I didn't say anything to you. In the moment when you were talking about collaborating with them. I didn't say anything like, oh yeah, well, they tried to do that yesterday and I didn't know what to say. I didn't say that to you in the moment. So then I felt like, oh, why didn't I tell her the truth? Like, anyway, I didn't want to be vulnerable with you and share that I tanked it the day before. And then it was eating me up inside. And so then I called you and I was very vulnerable.
Yes, you
were. Cried, which I was like...
And I appreciated it, but at the same time I was like...
You're a freak. Why are you overreacting?
No, I wasn't like, you're a freak. But I think in this situation, like... the one I just shared about Knack, where it was eating me up, like, you're me, I'm Knack. You know, like, it's like the other person's like, oh, gosh, everything's okay. Yeah. You know? Like, but and we all have moments.
Yeah. But the whole reason my situation even happened with you was because I didn't feel like I could be vulnerable in that moment. I didn't share with you that I froze and didn't take them up on the collab.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then I felt terrible for keeping it from you. Anyway, but now we're just have a deeper connection.
Yeah, there was stuff to unpack there. And,
so
and you were also shown in that moment that it was okay to be vulnerable. It was okay to make a mistake. It was all okay. It wasn't going to impair our friendship. Well, it wasn't going to be like a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if it had, that's also an indication of where the friendship is, like, and then you can have a conversation about that.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's actually a really good
point. If you'd have been like, you stupid bitch, why did you?
Well,
then I'd have been like, oh, maybe this isn't the friendship that I need now.
That's right. I think that when someone shows up vulnerably, if you're able to just be like, oh my gosh, it's okay. Yeah. You know, I think that that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you say... What?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and ask, but then I'm going to share something.
No,
go
share.
Ahead. Well, I was just thinking, too, about some past friendships where maybe I saw the friendship in a new light. That's interesting, too. Like, I've definitely had instances where I thought our friendship was one way, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't mean as much to you, so I'm stepping back. And so... Gosh, I don't know how you discern that sometimes, because I'm thinking of a specific instance where I thought someone was close with me. I organized a trip because I was invited. I was ready to go. I messaged her and I was like, I'm coming. Here's when I arrive. And she was like, oh my God, I'm out of town this weekend. I thought it was next weekend and all that. And I was like, what the fuck? You knew this meant a lot to me, you know? And then I didn't have a place to stay. All this stuff, and I was like, she didn't like offer me her place or anything, and I was just like, I don't mean much to you, and I don't know if there was a worthiness thing in there for me, but I basically stepped away from that friendship, and I was
did she come after you, or it was done?
I think she tried to apologize and stuff, but I just was sort of like, meh, and I've just considered not really a friend.
Well, that's when you're, that's that whole thing of like, when they show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
And listen to your intuition. I think more often than not, people go back and go, oh, well, she didn't mean it. And, oh, well, we're going to still be friends. And then they do it again and again and again.
You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're exactly right. That's exactly right. It's not a person that I can count on. You're right. Very different than what happened with us. And so, like, with us, you've been consistently a person I can count on always. And then, like, you come to me and you say, I'm feeling vulnerable and here's the thing I did and I feel bad. And I'm like,
well, and fine. I valued the friendship enough to come and have that conversation because I didn't want to have that conversation. Yeah. Like, there was a side of me that was like, just pretend like it never happened. But it was bothering me. And I didn't want it to come back. Like, if you went to them and said, hey, let's collab. And they're like, yeah, we talked to Whitney about this yesterday. And you'd be like, what the fuck? Anyway, I wanted to show you that I valued the friendship and that I messed up. But honestly, I made it into this huge thing. It's not even that big of a deal.
It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal.
But I had built it up and built it up and built it up all night.
They misread my Vizia scan, so I'm not even going to.
Oh, that's so true. We won't even get into that. There was something else that I was going to say.
You were going to ask me a question.
Oh, okay. So going back to just people that are listening that are like, yeah, I want deeper friendships. And we've given you some tips on how to deepen the relationships that you already have. But what about the people who want to establish some new friendships? What would you say they could do? My first go-to would be join something that you love, and then you'll already just be in a group with people that you have something in common with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for how to make friends?
I know.
It's so hard.
Well, here's how I do it. If you must know.
I can't wait.
I fucking invite them on my podcast, and then I'm like, now we're friends. And I've done that to people, and I'm like, can we be, I'll literally be like, can we be friends? I can think of one in particular, Amanda Kuda. And I was like, ooh, I like her. I like what she's all about.
Yeah.
I'm inviting her on my podcast. And then I was like, now I've got her. Now we're friends.
We're friends.
And so I don't know, maybe I was transactional and I shouldn't have been, but I don't know if I was, but I literally
wanted to be her friend.
Wanted to be her friend, and then I straight up said that, and we are friends.
Yeah,
we are friends.
I think you can take a transactional friend and deepen it into a virtue
and
friend.
Convert it. Okay.
Yeah, 100%, because people do that. You have a work friend, and then you start hanging out with each other on the weekends, or you start dating or whatever. So it is possible. If there's a person that you're like, they're really cool, I'd like to spend time with them, then you have to open yourself up and go, hey, I'd really love to spend time with you. Let's go get a coffee.
You just say that. And just like the 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're friends.
Yeah.
Now we're friends. So I think there's a bigger principle that you can apply.
Go back to your kindergarten self.
Yes. Yeah. And just say I want to be friends with you. How many times do you say that to someone? And the reason Amanda leaps to mind is because I literally said that to her. I remember where we were standing and I was seeing her off and I was like, I want to be friends with you now. And she was like, okay. And so we were. And so it wasn't really about the podcast. It was really about, and I was thinking of a friend that always turns up and always is good about calling, reaching out, and securing plans. She is particularly good. And I was like, how did I meet her? Guess what? A PR company pitched her to be on my podcast, and she was, and she's just been consistent like that.
Yeah.
But I do have another friend that hasn't been on my podcast, and she's been consistent about reaching out.
Making people feel valuable. I want
maybe that's it.
I value you, and I would like to spend real time with you.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
People want to be wanted and needed. So another thing you can do is bring someone in to help you solve a problem.
True.
Hey, I know you've been divorced. I'm about to go through that. Can we have coffee? Mm-hmm. And then you're hitting all the buttons because it's something not shallow, something personal, vulnerable. You're spending quality time face to face. Boom.
I think there's a bit of a wound with me, and it's like I feel like I have to offer something in order for them to want me. And so I have to kind of watch that because I know I have that. I think I have this wound of no one wants to come to my party. So I'm like, oh, I have to offer this in order to be friends, which that is not true.
Right.
And people will want to be my friend just to be my friend.
Right.
But I think I have to offer something. So I think that there's probably a balance in there. You don't have to offer something.
No, but what I'm saying
is, you don't have to
is
need them. You can just be friends.
True. Yeah. But at first, when you don't really know them, maybe.
What are you offering?
Yeah. Or, hey, I value your opinion on this, or I don't know.
Yeah.
So really,
we
got nothing. Okay. We got nothing for you. No, I think we've given some good advice. I think so.
So I think I think you can just say, I like you and I want to be friends.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't have to be weird.
It doesn't have to be weird. I think that I have done that in the past, and then you can relax into that. And I think that starting out with me and Knack, it took me a while to believe that he just wanted to be friends with me for me. And I remember he and I, this was before text messaging, we were calling each other every single day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think we're actually friends. And it took me a while to accept that. And that we really loved each other and we're just friends.
Yeah.
And because I just put him on a pedestal a bit. And so I wasn't offering anything, except just me. And so, and we were just having a good time and just got along just as people. And so I think there's just a valuation thing that you can be in there and be like, you know what, I'm great and I'm a good friend and I like you just for you. And so recognizing that, doing the self-work, and then just saying like, let's be
I want to
friends.
be friends.
Like,
yeah.
let's go hang.
My name's
let's
Whitney.
go hang.
Yeah, let's be friends.
Let's go hang.
Agreed. It can be that
Yes.
easy.
It can be that easy.
So just a little recap. Max Life isn't built on how many people you know on LinkedIn or how many people are liking your posts.
LinkedIn.
It's built on who you can call at 2 a.m. when you have a crisis or when you feel like your world's collapsing. Your partner can be that, but it's also necessary to have at least one other person that you can call on. The spouse is great, but that one friend that you can talk about your spouse with. And have those person be, deal, transactional, not transactional deal type friends. Mm-hmm. They are true connections.
Yes.
Now we've audited your portfolio. We've fixed your inner circle.
Okay.
We've looked at how you process the world around you. Next week or next episode in the series, we are diving into part 4, the Scout mindset. The Scout mindset. We're going to teach you the protocol for choosing truth over your own ego. I know you do that because you do that. You're always thinking about your truth.
Oh God, I thought you were saying I was choosing my ego.
No.
Thank God. Okay, good. Choosing truth over your ego.
You better stop doing that.
Oh,
no, I'm
shit.
saying you do that.
Okay.
You choose truth over your own ego so you can stop blocking your own growth.
Fuck yeah.
All right?
Yes.
So we'll see you with that and help you create an anything but midlife, a max life.
Max life, if
real
you will.
Science.
If you will. Real science. Thank you, Whitney. That's so interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah. We want to know what you think. Please email us anythingbutmidpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
And
and do what you want.
Ultimately, do what you want.
Please follow and subscribe to Anything But Mid anywhere you get your podcasts. Email us your mid moment at anythingbutmidpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, we do what we want.